16, 12, and here I get to show you some handy dandy tools for Excel. It's kind of cool. So I think I could download. Nah, I couldn't. It wouldn't let me download. Maybe to check. I must have, maybe I just input this data myself. You guys, it doesn't show that it's downloadable, but I'd check if I were you because it might be in there. So anyhow, it says, can we conclude that professionals live in bigger homes than their parents do? Okay, and so we compare the sizes of their square feet of their homes, right? And first, then we got to say, how many usable pairs are there? So in this case, we just the number of people, right? And we got pairs to figure out what our n is. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my n is 7. Okay, and then at the 0.05 significance level, I got to figure out what my critical t value is. Okay, and I got that down here, and I got to go to page 739 back there, one of those charts. I don't have a chart, I don't think, like that on the computer to show you, so you're just going to have to kind of go look. And this is not a two-tailed, right? Because it's a one-tailed because I'm trying to determine whether or not the professionals live in the larger homes. And so I got to use, in this case, there's the column within, and then the second column over from that is the 0.05, right? So it's the one underneath the little kind of funky symbol there, whatever that is. It's not the one that's 2 in the funky symbol, just the one that's the funky symbol. So I go at the n is 7, and I cross over there, and I go to the 0.05, okay, and that's 3 then is my critical t value, right? That's my critical t. And so I'm going to state my hypothesis. One is that there is no difference. Okay, and again, my alternate is kind of the one I'm trying to determine if the professionals have bigger, so I would say my alternate is that professionals live in larger homes. And so I'm going to reject the t if if the t is equal to or less than the critical t value. Now how do I calculate the t in this case? First, I just got to calculate the difference between the professional homes and the parent homes. Okay, and I can just copy that down, right? Okay, now I got a couple negatives in here, and I'm going to end up ranking these, but in this case the parents live in bigger homes, right? And if I ranked them with the negative number, then the rank would come out kind of funky. So what I want to do is find the absolute value of that. So I can come up here. Oops, I'm gonna delete this, and I'll come up here, and I don't remember if that's a math one. Probably is. Absolute ABS returns the absolute value of a number without its sign, or it turns a negative into the positive, basically. So I can do that, the absolute value of this, and in this case, of course, the absolute value of a positive number is a positive, but then if I drag that down, it changes these two, obviously, to positive numbers. Okay, then I just want to rank them. That's all I got to do is rank them. And so again, I'll come up here, and I don't remember if that's lookup or if it's stats. I think it's probably stats. Oops, hit math and trig. That might have rank in there. Nope. So it's probably under statistical, PQR. There's rank. I'm going to use rank average, and all rank average means if you had two that were the same, then it would average them. So if they ended up being a 9 and 10 basically, but they were the same, they'd both be 9.5. Okay, so the number then that I want to rank is going to be this absolute value. Okay, and my reference then is going to be this column of absolute values, and I want that column reference to stay the same. So I'll hit my F4, put my dollar signs in there, right? And then I can say order. Do I want them ascending, okay, or do I want them to be descending? And I think I want these to be descending. So I want so I'll put a 1 in there, okay, and that makes the biggest one will have the highest number. Okay, so I want these to be descending. So there you go. I clicked on that, and then because I used my dollar signs and everything, I can just simply drag that down. That's going to rank all of these numbers, right? Okay. Well, then I want to put these ones into a different column. Now I could kind of do this by hand, but it's so much fun doing using my Excel. You know, I get all kinds of cool stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, let's see, if this one's a positive, then I want I want the ranking, this rank to show up here. Okay. If this one's a negative, then I want it to show up over here in column H. So how do I do that? Well, let's just let's just go with type and if. Yeah, I think I need a parenthesis. So if this is, let's just say greater than 0, okay, then it says value if true. So I hit a comma, and it says value if true, and I want that to be this, and the value if false, so if it's not greater than 0, then I want it to be 0 for this column. Okay, and then parentheses and see if that works. Yeah, once I do that, then I can just again drag that down, right? Okay, and then I'm going to do the opposite for this one, right? So I'm going to say equal to if parentheses if this is, oops, I'm sorry, if it's this one is less than 0, then I want the value to show up, the value of the ranking to show up in this column. I got to hit a comma, okay, and if not, then again 0 and parentheses. Okay, so cool, 0, that's what I'd expect because this value is positive, right? So I drag this down, and well, I did something wrong. If D2 is less than 0, then I want, ooh, I gotta put F2 here instead of, okay, so I goofed up, I got G2, this got to be F2. Let's change that. Now let's drag that down and see if that fixed it. There we go. Okay. And so now I got to just add up the ranking then of my two that are opposites, I guess. My two that were negatives, well, they rank, you know, the lowest and the third to the lowest, but that equals 4. Okay. And so I'm going to reject if t is equal to or less than the critical value. Well, I can't reject it then. Okay, so I cannot reject the null. I cannot conclude, okay, that there is a difference, or I conclude that there is no difference in home sizes, okay, based on simply on a ranking thing. So yeah, it may not be the most accurate, but in bigger data sets, and I think you guys might find that it does make a difference. So there you have 16-12.